to talk to you guys again about relationships. This has been a fun topic. We've been doing this every week. This is our third week in a row. It's been nice having you. It's been a lot of fun. All right. You just gotta talk louder. You guys picking me up like that? You need to tell me.
Talk louder.
Oh, man. That right now I'm just super loud. I don't know. A little louder. Sure. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you this morning. Hope you're doing well. Country, doing good. Hope you're doing well. I'm about to call you. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for your love and support. We're excited today. We're going to talk today about keeping. Oh, the music's too loud. It's probably coming through. Thank you. It's probably coming through both speakers. I don't have my headphones on. We're trying to do a lot. I should mix that up. I should fix that. You can hear the music this time, though. You know, it was different.
Right.
You normally can't hear it. You could groove to it, but now I got to put it back into the headphones because if I don't, it's going to be confusing. All right. Sorry. Well, let me throw my headphones back on. Okay. Hello, Ernesto Diaz. I hope I said that right. Welcome from LinkedIn. Glad to have you here today. We're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about keeping your relationship problems off of social media, keeping those relationship issues to yourself, and rules to fighting fair. There are rules to this. You can fight, but fight fair. You can disagree, not physically fight. We don't ever want to physically fight.
Have conflict with each other because that's normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
Conflict within your relationship.
How do you do it? You fight fair.
You shouldn't be throwing hands.
You shouldn't be throwing hands.
No.
It's not a good idea. All right, it's kind of against the rules. Good morning.
And the law.
Yeah, good point. Against the relationship rules and against the law. What's up, Tyler? Thank you for being here on your way to work. We're here at Lucas Live. I'm wearing pink in celebration of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As you guys,
we're wearing pink.
We're both wearing pink. That is pink, huh? It's just not as bright as mine. I didn't notice. I'm sorry. It's pink. I was like, I don't know. All right, we're both wearing pink in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As most of you may know, and you guys know, this show is dedicated to my mom, Vivian Tindell, who passed away on March 26th of this year. And she passed away of breast cancer. And, you know, I cared about breast cancer and I was conscious of it, and I loved seeing the athletes and the NFL players wearing pink, and I always was like, it was so cool. And there's like Real Men Wear Pink is like a whole movement, and it's a real thing. And now it's even nearer and dearer to my heart, you know, after losing my mom to breast cancer. So, you know, women, and it's important for women to go get regular checkups and take care of themselves, right? Yeah. So you guys, ladies, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, getting those regular checkups, doing all the things you can to make sure that you are safe and healthy. Breast cancer is a terrible disease. My mom beat it a few years ago, and then sadly it came back, and it was in her bones, and it was too far gone. They did all they could, and she even went to the amazing Cleveland Clinic. And at some point, there was just nothing they could do, even though they tried everything. And give blood, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you give blood, because my mom got a lot of blood transfusions, like almost daily. I mean, it was like every other day, and it was like daily there toward the end. And I never realized how important that was. She was getting blood and platelets. So make sure you're giving blood and you're taking opportunity to do that, because you literally can be saving lives and prolonging lives while they help people fight these deadly diseases out there. So it's important. Men too. Good point. Thank you.
Men too.
I don't even think that's a great point. Men too
Yes.
need to be checked for breast cancer, because men can get it as well. All cancers and things, we need to be conscious of our bodies and taking care of ourselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's take a moment today to be thoughtful of that. Husbands, listen to your wives as they're telling you to go to the doctor. You tell me that.
Yeah.
I don't go unless you tell me.
Have you made your appointment for your arms?
I'm gonna make one today. Make your appointment for your arms. I don't know what she's talking about. Anyway, good morning, Tamika. Good morning, Janita. Angela Curry.
Angela.
What's up, Angela? It's been too long. We haven't seen you.
Hey,
You and the baby
Sharice.
need to come over, and your husband and the kids, and we'll see you later or tomorrow. Okay, Angela, we'll see you soon. Amanda, I don't know if we said hello. Our producer, Amanda Dukes, thank you for being here. as
And Jaysha.
always.
Did we say hey to
I
Jaysha?
think so, Jaysha. I'm sorry if I didn't say what's up, Jaysha.
Second hello.
Our wonderful fan, and Sharice. We both was jumping around. It's like, I hope we didn't miss anybody because these is like loyal people. So listen, today, relationship talk. We love this important topic. When you guys, again, it's morning time right now for those who are watching this live. You may be getting ready for work. You may have other things going on. Again, if you can't stare at your phone, turn it up, listen to it. This is important information that can help you. If you're single, these things can help you prepare for a healthy relationship. What's going to help you is changing your mindset. All right? That's what it is. A lot of times it's not, we always think we're waiting on someone, and sometimes I believe God is waiting on us to get ready to receive what he has for us.
Yes.
He's like, I can't give it to you. Like, I'm looking for my man. I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for whatever. And it's like you're looking outside instead of looking inside to work on yourself. There's also people who are in relationships right now that aren't happy and could use a little,
Boost.
little boost. I like that. I didn't know the word. I was like, they need a little
Boost.
Yeah.
something.
They need a little boost in their life. So we want to help you guys get a little boost to think about some things. Because sometimes also we don't think about what we can do to improve our relationship until it's too far gone.
Right.
And then people are rushing to counseling as a last-ditch effort to, like, say we tried.
Right. We tried.
We went to counseling.
But that's like the beginning of trying.
Yes, it's
You gotta roll your sleeves up and
get ready.
yeah,
Roll them up. Get ready to
work on yourself.
work on yourself first.
Some people go to counseling to fix their spouse.
Right,
You need to go to counseling to look at yourself.
right. They go there, they be like, can you fix them? They
Right.
crazy. And then they leave counseling disappointed that the other person didn't get a whooping.
Yeah.
And they be like, I ain't going back there. All they did was tell me what I need to fix. Well, that's all you can fix anyway is you. So be grateful somebody gave you some feedback that you can work on.
Yep.
So, Judy Pledger Williams, welcome. Glad to have you. Miss Melita Polk, welcome to
Good
the
morning.
show. Good morning. Our
Don
good friend,
Pullen. Good morning.
Miss Dawn Pullen, soror sister. I'm not a soror sister, but that's what they call each other, and I think it's cool. Shout out to the Delta Sigma Theta Stark County Alumni Chapter.
Yeah.
Shout out to her and all that they've done, and thank you for your work with Lucas Live Media. Shout out to Dawn. Make sure you guys are following. When you guys see people on here sometime and you go back and watch or you're watching a replay, reach out to each other, connect, send friend requests, build your network based. You're obviously like-minded people. You're all watching Lucas Live. So reach out to each other. Say, hey, I saw you were in the comments on Lucas Live. Hey, I'm a fan of the show too, or whatever. Like, network, connect. You never know what kind of opportunities there may be in connecting.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot going on in Canton.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that's connecting and doing things. So
Yes.
Canton, I feel like Canton is about to
We got a mini Wall
blow
Street
up.
going on.
Yeah.
We got.
There's so many talented and hardworking and just gifted people around here.
Yeah.
That's hungry for it.
I agree.
Yes. So connect, network with each other.
Network, connect. There's a lot going on out here. Somebody here on LinkedIn may be watching, wherever you're coming from. Make sure you guys are connecting and growing your businesses, growing your network, growing your friends. And to all the singles who are looking to get stronger, to get fit for a relationship. That's what I always tell people. I'm a relationship personal trainer. My goal is to get you mentally, spiritually, emotionally fit for a relationship. A lot of people are doing a lot of work to fix their external, the way they look on the outside, and that's all good.
Right.
But if you don't fix the inside,
You gotta be cute on the outside and the inside. You know.
there's some real cute people on the outside, and they ugly on the inside. Ugh, it's
I
a
know
mess.
some of 'em.
Just
Yeah.
a mess on the inside.
Good morning.
So we want to help out Aaron Dukes. Shout out to Aaron Dukes. Pristine Steam Wash in the house. Mr. Pristine Steam Wash.
Mr.
If you're in the
Pristine.
Stark County, Summit County area, Aaron Dukes has a wonderful mobile car detailing business. Whether you just want to get the outside shined up or whether you want to get the full detail inside, outside, and you're like, I'm always busy. I don't have time to take it to the dealers, to the detail shop. I don't have time. I have to go be at work. He can meet you where you are. It's like God will meet you where you are.
Right.
He will show up and be on time. Shout out to Aaron Dukes, Pristine Steam
He
Wash.
showed up and did my car. My car was it had years of kids spilling Polynesian sauce,
Frosties and whatnot.
Frosties, all kind of mess on there for years.
And he hooked it up.
Hooked it up.
He came.
Got
he-
it clean.
In the garage. I mean, he didn't
Right,
have to
yeah.
pull it out of the garage. I mean, he was
Right.
in our garage working it out. It was amazing, right? So it was awesome. Katrina Morris, welcome. Erica Burr, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. There's always people I see like, I haven't talked to you. It's been too long. What is going on? We got to get it together. So relationship talk today. All right. So let's talk today. We want to talk about how to keep your relationship problems off of social media. How do you keep your business out of the streets?
Out of these streets.
Out of these here streets. And then we want to talk about just general fair fighting rules. A lot of couples, they want to assume everybody knows they're going to get in arguments, but they never talk about, well, what's the structure of our arguments? What's wrong? What's not okay? What's off limits? They're just like, you should have known not to say nothing about my mom. You know I love my mom. And they be like, you said something crazy about my big head kid and my baby mom and this other thing. I mean, I thought everything was cool, but y'all didn't talk about it beforehand, and so that's why y'all are having these problems. So first, talking about fighting fair, we wrote a blog some years ago.
Yeah.
And what was we talking about?
I think it was called Fighting Fair.
It was called Fighting Fair. Please don't make it so simple. You supposed to say something deep, like it was called something deep. Quentin Johnson, what's up, my man? Welcome. That's my dude. What's going on from the Periscope days?
Right.
Shout out to him. What's up, Lily? Polynesian Sauce. Hey, Lily, what's up with your LinkedIn, Lily? I'm not calling you out. Don't worry. I'm not calling you out on the show. I'm just looking to see what's up with your LinkedIn because, we're supposed to get that LinkedIn together, right? All right, but it's all good. Lily, what's going on? Shout out to you.
She clearly knows about the Polynesian sauce.
She knows what's up with the Polynesian.
Yeah.
That Chick-fil-A Polynesian sauce.
Yep.
It's a tasty treat till it's spilled in your back seat.
That's
what they tell you.
Yep.
Yes. Tanya says, it is really that hard to stay private for people. You won't see much about your partner on my page, even if I have one. Okay. It seems like it should be easy, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, you often see people taken to the streets, these Facebook, social media, Instagram, Twitter streets with their business.
Yeah. I think it starts with, like, maybe you tell your friends some stuff about your business, and then your business slowly starts to leak out, right?
Yeah.
So then you get on Facebook and maybe say something like, this is over.
You make some cryptic message.
Yeah.
I'm sick of all of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you want to prove to your friends that, like you done. You ain't doing it no more.
Yeah.
But then you just put your business out in the streets. Y'all had a small argument and, something that you could come back from. But now you got your business out all in the streets. And once that happens, it's hard to keep coming back, because it seems like you're bouncing in and out of a relationship. And then you really don't have anybody to talk to anymore because everybody's like, well, I thought you said you was done.
That is a problem that happens across the board. Mm-hmm. That was going on even before social media, where people would confide in. Or you laughing at Lily?
Yeah.
I called her out. I'm sorry, Lily. My bad.
Business, right?
So sorry. What I think a lot of times it's not abnormal to want someone to talk to, other than the person you're in a relationship with, right? We need sounding boards. We need people to vent to. We need people to confide in. But confide means I have confidence. I confide in you because I have confidence that what I say to you stays between you and me.
Right.
I also have confidence that you have my best interest in mind, that you're not single and bitter, and so I tell you about my relationship situation, and you need to just get out of there. I wouldn't put up with that. I'd be out. And you'd be looking at them like, that's why you're always single. Like, you run at the first sign of trouble. Like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't need all that, right? So I think it starts with needing somebody to confide in, and then it grows into you're probably telling too many people too many things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And the only person or the only people, like, you just need to have people in your life. If you're going through it in your relationship, reach out to people who care about you.
Right.
Who is going to give you good advice based on, who's going to really listen to you, or not just going to be like, you know what, that's stupid. You dealing with too much and all this other stuff. If I was you, I would. You don't need that.
Me. You're right.
You don't need that in your relationship when you're going through. You need somebody to listen to you because they care, because they want to see you thrive, whether that's in your relationship or out of your relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and
so
somebody
important.
that's not going to tell your business, you confide in somebody, and they go tell their other friend. Their
Right,
other friend don't really care about you.
Now everybody
so
looking at you funny.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
And social media. I think social media is very tempting because you want to. I think a lot of people, you know, myself included, like, we've all been here. You just want to put out that you're doing something, you're doing well,
Right.
whatever. You got
Right.
this. You feel like you got this audience out here in the black hole. So every time you type, there's
Somebody does something
right.
and validates your feelings,
Somebody
your
like
life.
it,
Yeah.
heart it, whatever.
Yep.
Give you a good comment. You like people out here. They looking for me to do
Right.
something.
Right. They
whatever.
need me. What
Right,
they gonna do
they
without me
need
out
me.
here? Right.
They don't.
They don't.
Keep put on Facebook or social media what you want to put on there, and then don't put on there what you don't want.
And
to
what
put
you
on
shouldn't
there.
put
Try
on
not
there.
to get tempted, to like prove something to everybody.
Yep.
You don't got to prove nothing to anybody. It's none of anybody's business what you're going through, especially in your relationship.
Yeah, and I love what Amanda said here. She said social media has seemed to become a modern day journaling device. People are just putting all of their thoughts and feelings and every up and every down and everything. And it is true. They say social media has led to higher rates of depression and suicide, but everybody thinks it's like this good thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not anti-social media, obviously, because here I am. But I do think that there are some real ills to social media where it feeds something. They say every time you get a like or a love or something, a heart, you get a hit of dopamine. So that's that positive, good feel-good chemical in our brain that you get when someone compliments you. Right. And this is how people, one of the tips we gave to singles one day, one tip I gave to singles was show some love to the person you're interested in on social media. Mm-hmm. Go like their post, love their post, comment on their post. Because even if they weren't paying you any attention, you just gave them a hit of dopamine. When they see your name, they feel good in that you just hit them with this little bit of dopamine that maybe they weren't conscious of, but that's what happens. Okay, right. It gives them a little hit. Okay, so likewise, that happens when people are feeling down about their relationship. They don't feel loved. They don't feel liked. Right. And we should talk about the difference between loved and liked, because some people love each other, but they don't like each other, which is a mess. And then somebody else is giving them a hit of dopamine. So I'm not getting it from you. And then I post this thing about how I'm a good man and women just don't even know how to treat a good man. Then a bunch of women love it and like it. Then I'm feeling good. Right. Then I'm scrolling through names of potential candidates out here. We got problems.
You sound like you done did this.
You didn't see me do it, did you? I didn't do this. I'm just saying. What do I know? So that's what is happening. And then I think people are opening doors, especially women, where men, maybe both ways. I'm not like we talk about the DM thing, where you're also opening the door to your DM. You're basically like, I'm not happy.
I'm available.
I'm available. I'm headed to the market.
Go ahead and slide.
I'm all right.
If you feeling
shoot
strong,
your
go
shot.
Ahead and leap into the DM.
Right. So let's see some of the comments we got on here. Lily said, people feel validated on social media, so we fall for the trap to share information we shouldn't. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
It is a human desire to feel validated. It makes us feel like a part of a tribe. It makes us feel like we belong. Every child is trying to be validated. Every person is trying to be validated. It is human nature at your job, in your relationship, with your kids. And when someone out there in the world can like and love your thoughts and feelings and perspective, makes you feel like they're valid.
And then Facebook reminds you a couple years later of some of the stuff you said, and you cringing like, oh, delete.
Right.
Should I just delete my whole page and start
over?
Right,
what was I thinking? What was I doing back then?
Right. But
back in the day. I'm about to make these little post dudes a little bigger. Let's see how that works. Oh, that's too big. Y'all ever see me doing stuff live on the show? I be messing with the thing, trying to see how stuff works. I don't know. All right, anyway. The Social Dilemma was very eye-opening. I have not watched that, Judy, yet, but I heard about it.
Heard about it,
Our son watched it. And he was like, ooh, he's 16, and he was like, ooh.
Right.
When they got teenagers scared of social media, it must have been real.
A couple people was telling us about it.
Right.
We got to watch it. But I believe everything they're saying about how they get us addicted on purpose and all this other stuff. Yes.
Yep.
Hey, Eb.
Eb in the house. Eb Akron. Ebony Akron. Welcome to the show. Author from 45 and Single to 45 and Married. Yes. She was the original client of the Man Manual, 10 Steps to Better Understanding Your Man. We sat down and went through this book 1 week at a time, and she learned to understand men better. It's the 10 Steps to Better Understanding Your Man, whether you got him yet or not. And she knew her man was coming, and she prepared by going through this book, and we talked about it. And she went on and went from 45 and single to 45 and married. Because when you're ready for what the Lord has for you,
it comes quickly.
It comes quickly.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, that's good though, for real.
Could. Yeah, quickly.
God doesn't work in our time frame, right?
Yes.
So it's nothing for God to give us what we want if we're ready.
Yeah.
But if we ain't ready, he ain't all interested. He ain't rushing. He ain't like, let me hurry up because they want to be married. He's like, I ain't thinking about that. So W.L. Frazier says, people want to vent and it's a great outlet, but it's important to have social media etiquette. I love that. Use as a tool, not as a means to keep a healthy mental bubble. Then end up in a social roller coaster, right?
Right.
You done got your business out there. Now you got to ride the wave.
You got yourself into something you can't get out of.
Got yourself all entangled.
Right.
Play entanglements.
Right.
Can I get an entanglement in the comments? Somebody say entangled. All right. So it's so important. We have to be careful. Even those cryptic messages can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And what we call that is, we talk about staying in the ring. Okay, so we want to talk about fair fighting. When it comes to fair fighting in a boxing match or UFC or any kind of fighting, which you don't like those types of brutal sports, right?
No.
You don't. You're not into it. And
I don't know why anybody would sign up to get kicked in the face, kick somebody else in the face. It's just too much. I can't watch it.
I don't think they sign up to get kicked in the face.
You do if you get in the ring.
You think they be like, make sure they kick me in the face today? I'm hoping
there's a chance to get kicked in the face.
There's a chance. But every day of your life, there's a chance you might get kicked in the face. But you may be increasing your odds if you're a UFC fighter. All right. Today's message is don't get kicked in the face.
Right.
All right. Whatever you do in your life, don't get kicked in the face. All right. So in those arenas, there are rules and there are rings that they are in, right? The octagon in UFC, a cage, or the boxing ring, the square in boxing. And so the rules are you stay inside the ring. You have to stay inside the ring. This is not WWE, WWE, anything where they be all outside the ring coming back and forth. That ain't real. I'm sorry. I hate to say it because some people think Hulk Hogan was really attacking folks. Anyway, that's not real. In a real boxing match, they have to stay in the ring. Yes. And so inside a relationship, the ring is inside your home or in between the two of you, between your phones, your text message, your FaceTime, your face-to-face interactions. Keep it in the ring. Now, it is okay, though, to allow a trusted person or persons in.
Yes.
And we call those either a referee or your corner people. Some people who are in your corner who both people are aware of.
Yep.
Right?
It can't be like somebody that's against your spouse. So if your mom is like, I don't like her, I never told you to marry that girl in the first place, you can't be calling your mom to be refereeing your relationship conflict.
Right. Mama, she done it again.
Right.
And mom be like, I done told you, like Martin's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, Martin, I never liked that upperhead girl anyway. I never told you to be with her.
Right.
Yeah. Then you going to go try to tell your mom, I'm thinking about marrying her.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom be like,
what?
We don't like her.
Right. I'm not coming to the wedding.
I'm not coming to the wedding.
I will not be there.
Not the way she treating my baby. So it's important that we keep it inside the ring. And so a referee, what's up, my man Donnell? Welcome. So it's important, like a referee is somebody like a pastor, a counselor, relationship coaches, someone who you have both agreed can separate the two of you and say, hey, go to your corners. It's getting too heated here. Or whoa. That was below the belt. It was a low blow. That wasn't right. You shouldn't have said that. We're going to talk about that in a second. Or whatever the case may be. They keep the fight fair. It's okay that you're going to have some disputes. Yeah. Sometimes there's going to be some jabs going on because you're trying to get your point across, but you're not trying to hurt the other person, but you're trying to get your point across, right? You need a referee. And then people in your corner may be people who you know that maybe I go speak to a couple men who you know are pro-marriage. They are men of God. There's something that you are like, I know he talks to them and I respect that.
Yeah.
It's not Tommy and Cole. Right? It's not your single friends that ain't got their life together, right? Right. And likewise for a woman, it's important to have that as well.
Yep. People who are advocates of marriage. Yeah. Advocates of you. Because sometimes you have friends and they don't really care about
it. They ain't about your relationship.
They're in secret competition with you. you got to be aware of who you letting into your relationship, into your life, and who's really your friend and who's going to speak into you instead of stray you away from your blessings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to know that. So keep it in the ring.
Yes.
All right. Don't let your fight go all outside, all out in the streets. Keep it in the ring. Keep it in the house. Don't be raising your voice and the neighbors know what's going on. And also, you got to keep it in the ring in a way that does not impact your children. And I don't think it's unreasonable for kids to see parents have conflict because they need to see that we don't always get along, but our love perseveres, right? Love keeps no record of wrong. We still love each other in the morning. We're still cool. We're still going to take care of you. We're not going anywhere, right? And one of the things we talk about is not using the D word. Yeah. Right? You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
I'll be looking at you like, go ahead.
D word, yeah.
I know, the D word.
Yeah.
What is it that
when we first got together, we said when we got married, we're not going to use the word divorce. That's the D word.
Right.
We're not going to use it because once you put it on the table, it's on the table. You can't be threatening each other with that word unless you really mean it. Because once it's out there, it's out there. It's like you're manifesting this thing over your relationship.
So true.
You always talking about, I'm going to divorce you, I'm going to divorce you. Then the other person is like...
They start to process that.
Yeah, they're like, okay, well, let me get ready for this divorce. You know, they done said it about 20 times.
Right.
Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So, if you're in your relationship, I want to point out, too, like really quickly, we're talking about relationships and healthy relationships,
yes,
right?
Good point.
So, if you're having conflict all the time and, like, things are physical.
It's abusive.
It's always, you know, somebody's always hitting below the belt.
There's infidelity.
Yeah. Like, there's, like, you know, like... There's a point where your relationship is just unhealthy. Yeah. And you do need to get out of it. And you do have to go, you know, even then you don't have to put it out on social media or whatever. True. But there's a point where you do have to get out of your relationship. We're not talking about unhealthy relationships today. We're talking about disputes between people because you're just different. Yeah. You don't want to clean the toilet and your spouse is trying to make you clean the toilet, you know? Like, I shouldn't be the one cleaning the toilet all the time, you know, and you arguing about it.
And but that's why you nasty, and you grew up in a nasty house, and you start getting crazy. It's like, whoa, right? Yes. That's good.
Yeah. So we're talking about healthy relationships, healthy conflicts.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, healthy conflicts, not abuse.
Yes.
And unhealthy and emotional abuse, mental abuse.
Those things need more help, okay? Yes. And we're not saying if you're married and there's some level of emotional that you should just run immediately, but if you're getting physically abused, there's a major concern. If there's infidelity, there's a major concern. You guys need to take it. You got to do something to change that. That doesn't change. People don't just hit you and then stop hitting you, right? There needs to be some serious help, some serious change, something. And more than just I'm gonna pray about it, because the problem with I'm just going to pray as believers, we're believers, is God gave everyone free will. If all you had to do was pray and God was going to zap them in the head and have them stop, then he'd zap you $1 million too. He can't override free will. Why? Because God set it up that way. If he wanted to override free will, if he set it up to where he could, he would. But he set up the computer, he set up the system where it's like, I can't override your choice. I'm always going to give man choice. He gave man choice. He gave angels choice. And he gave choice to his creation just because he wanted to. And in that choice, we got to choose to change. And we got to work to choose to change. We got to put ourselves around other people who are choosing to change and improve. And if you're not choosing it, I can't pray it out of you, because God said, yea, though I stand at the door and knock, if anyone would open, I'll come in and eat with him. I'll come in and build a relationship with you. But I'm at the door knocking. You may pray that God may knock at the door of their heart, but that doesn't mean they're going to open it. Right. And if they don't open it, ain't no change coming. Ain't no change coming. Yeah. They don't open it. Shout out to John Register. Glad to have you here, my friend. Thank you for being here. It was a wonderful, wonderful guest on the show. So glad to have you. He talks about amputating your excuses. As an amputee himself, he talks about amputating your excuses. It was a wonderful episode. If you guys missed that, make sure you check that out at Lucas Live Media. Make sure you guys are all subscribed to the YouTube page, Lucas Live Media on YouTube. It's the easiest way to see all the episodes and get to what you want. It's also on Lucas Live Media on Facebook. And of course, we're at Lucas Tindell on Twitter and on YouTube and on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
the easiest way to see all the episodes is YouTube. So check that out. Check that out. So yeah, that's real. Shamar, what's up, Shamar?
Hey, sis.
What's going on? Glad to have you here. I saw you commented yesterday on the show. I had missed it, and then I had to go back and be like, Shamar was in the house, and I know she limited her social media. So when you're popping in, I appreciate it. I know you giving us some of your time,
Right.
some of your streaming time. So this is all good. She said she was a little late. She was a little late this morning. It's all good.
We
It's
know
all
how you
good.
are in the morning, Shamar.
Yeah, Shamar in the morning. She just getting up, right. I love Tyler said, shout out to Tyler Thatcher. And shout out to Tyler Thatcher. Tyler's a big reason for the guest I had on last night, Coach Boo, Coach Frank McLeod. If you guys missed last night's episode, it was huge. It had thousands of views. It was crazy. It was a high school coach, the most well-known high school in the world, Kent McKinley, that we both graduated from.
Yes, we did.
And he just talked about kids in the community and kids dealing with violence and trying to play a sport. He talked about getting scholarships and how parents versus coaches, whose role is it? How do they both play a role? So many important topics we covered yesterday. It was
amazing, yeah. Coaches play a really great part in young people's lives, you know, especially like good coaches who really care and pour into their kids.
Right.
It's very necessary to have those people like that.
Right. Yep. Very good. Kathy.
Hey, Maria.
Shout out to Kathy. That's Blue Man's mom. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
She was
Hey,
a
Miss
great,
Kathy.
great. What's up? Thank you so much for being here, Miss Kathy. We're so glad to have you. We shouted her out. We talked a lot about her being a supportive mom of her grown son, who she continues to love and support and pour into, which helps him continue to love and pour into others. So shout out to her. Maria, welcome. Did you just say that?
Yeah,
You
just
did.
saying hey to Maria.
You have. Shout out to her.
I love Maria. Hey,
We've known
how
her
you
for a
doing?
long time now.
Yeah.
I was our girl from back in the day, man. We've seen her grow up. Shout out to you. Glad to have you here on the show. Thank you for being here. So anyway, these are important topics that we try to bring to you here on Lucas Live. We're not done. As I say certain things, I think people think I'm wrapping up, so I have to be careful. Like, whoa, don't go anywhere. But I do want to thank you guys as an audience, as followers, as faithful followers. And I know people are busy, and I know you can't always get on. We've brought the show down from when I started. It was like every day. Then it was 6 days a week. Then it was 5 days a week. We're doing 2 to 3 days a week. This will be the last episode for this week. And we got some special events coming up. We got some stuff with the election. We got a couple things coming up. I'm going to be live on site with a few guests coming up soon.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to be live from a barber shop. I'm going to be live from an event center, some local entrepreneurs, and it's going to be some fun.
Live on the road.
Lucas live on the road. We're about to take this thing out there with the Rona and everything. I'm going to be masked up.
That's a Rona.
But I'm getting out there. Getting out there. Thank you. All right. So fighting fair, keep it in the ring. You need a referee.
Yes.
So get some people in your life that can help, that you both agree to, that you both can call and be like, they doing it again. They be like, what are they doing? They talking crazy. They raising their voice. Okay, what happened? A, B, and C. They're like, okay, let me talk to them. Then they hear their side too, because it's 2 sides to every story. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, that's how you feeling. Okay, now let me bring y'all back together. Listen. This is how we're gonna go. It's okay that you guys disagreed. That was a low blow. You can't do that. You really seem like you have some deeper issues with this. I think we need to talk a little bit more about that. That sounds deeper than what he did. And we need to dig into the past a little bit, but we're gonna work it out. And you guys are gonna get back together, show each other some love, touch gloves, give hugs, show love, and let's get back to life.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
All right. So thank you again, Kathy. Thank you so
Kathy.
much.
Love
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love you. Thank you so much. So, okay, so what else do we do? Train for the fight.
Yeah.
What did that mean?
Talk about training for the fight.
What did that mean? You're supposed to be like...
Yeah, when the boxers, before they even get in the ring, they're training for it for about some months to a year, right?
Yes.
They're getting ready in physical shape. They're doing everything they can to be prepared for a conflict. And just like in a relationship, when different people get together with 2 different personalities who grew up in 2 different homes, it's inevitable not to agree about everything.
Yes.
So you need to be prepared. Build up the person's love tank. So then when you do have conflict, it's not like,
it's not a knockout punch.
Yeah, I don't even like you anyway.
Right. Ooh, it's like, I can't take that.
Right. When you've been busy loving on each other and understanding each other and being patient with each other, and doing everything that you can to train or build up your relationship, when a conflict arises, it's not like the knockout
It's not the
punch.
knockout punch.
Yeah, it's not like the end all be all.
Yep. Some people, you're right. I mean, that's what happens is it's not always the haymaker, the big uppercut or the big punch. It's a bunch of little jabs. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's like torture. It's like if they say one more thing, and literally you be saying that to your family and friends, they got one more time to say something to me, and you're always on edge. That's why when you train to fight, it's like you guys got to get into a flow where you know there's going to be a level of disagreement. Mm-hmm. Stop thinking every movie and every love song is how your whole life is going to be. You have to prepare yourself. I always say people need I always say I'm a relationship personal trainer because what I'm saying is you need to build the strength to be able to hold a relationship up because it gets heavy sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to be strong enough to hold it up or hold it down sometime because things are a little crazy. And you need the endurance, you need the stamina to be able to run the marathon that a relationship is. It's not always going to be easy. And like we said, it shouldn't be exhausting, hard work.
Yeah.
But it does take work.
Yeah, it takes work.
Yeah, so
mostly self-work.
Mostly self-work, and that ain't what people want to do. They want to drop their person off at the mechanic,
I'm
like
just
fix
trying
them.
to let y'all know, right? You can't fix your spouse. I don't even know why you can't fix anybody at all.
Yeah.
Like not your children, not your mom, not your dad, not your spouse. The only person you can change is yourself by connecting to God. So you got to leave that up to God. And just work on what you can work on. Yeah. Work on being the best individual that you can be. Because when you're a great individual, first of all, you attract.
That's so true.
You attract greatness.
You attract what you are.
Yes, you attract what you are. But if you're always out here arguing, like you can't argue. One person can't argue by themselves.
That's so true. Right.
They
can try.
It takes two to tango.
Right.
That's what they say. So you can't argue with somebody by yourself. And the other person can't argue with you by yourself. So somebody has to be a calm person. So if the other person is always going off or whatever, and you're like, okay, like let's just take a break, whatever. And then both people will benefit from that. Yep. So just constantly work on yourself, and the other person, they'll slowly start to come around too.
Yep.
If they start to see themselves as like, you know what, I can do better.
Yep.
And that's what you want the person to do in the relationship anyway. So self-reflect. It's not about them changing for you. It's about them becoming the best individual that they can be. Because
you cause the other person to step up their game.
Yeah.
And that's a telltale sign when you're dating. If you're stepping up their game and that person is not, that is telling you are what the Bible calls unequally yoked.
You're not moving in the same direction.
You can't move in the same direction on different levels. Like, and I'm not saying everybody has to be exactly the same spiritually, exactly the same emotionally, I'm not saying that. But when you're way up here and you're continuing to grow and they're way down here and they're not making any progress, that should be a sign because your growth should help raise them. At least proportionately, they should be like, I got to do better, right? Like, I may not be perfect tomorrow, but the way she's changed, the way she's loving me, the way she's treating me through this nonsense, I got to do better. And if they're not trying at all to do better, you got to question that. Now, if you're married, don't just run right away. You need to seek some help, and you need to have some difficult conversations. There's a great book called Crucial Conversations, which talks about how we need to learn to have the difficult conversations in life.
Yeah, it's important to have difficult conversations. Can't run from difficult conversations.
Can't run from difficult conversations. Shout out to Val Jemerson. She said, it is so crucial to have a supportive circle who gives truth founded on the word. Amen. They got to give you some truth founded on the word. The interesting part about truth founded on the word is truth is in the word, right? It's like otherwise you just got a bunch of opinions. And your opinions everybody got opinions. Everybody got facts and alternate facts and all of this stuff. You got to get to the truth. So you got to train to fight. All right, what's the next thing we need people to do?
Did we talk about not hitting below the belt?
We touched on it, but let's talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah. So you
never hit below the belt, right?
Yeah. That's saying stuff that's like it's going to hurt the person. Like you've been waiting to pull this one out.
Right. He was like, man, I'm going to say this next time. I'm going to talk about this.
You've been waiting to say this because you knew it was going to bring them to their knees.
It was saving it up.
Right. That's what you want to do.
Right.
It's like intentionally hurting the other person, even if they unintentionally hurt you. So you have to be careful. Like sometimes people will say things that might bring you to your knees, but it wasn't intentional. And for you to jab back below the belt and take them down to their knees too,
that's what people do.
Yeah, it's not right.
It's so wrong because here's what, like you said, what happens is a lot of times, this is the importance of premarital counseling, Shamar.
Yes.
A lot of times what happens is the first low blow is not always intentional. Sometimes it is and they're wrong. But sometimes they just got frustrated and the person says something and they knew it and you knew it and it was like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Now, if you ever do hit somebody with a low blow, even though you're trying to win the argument, you need to stop and apologize. You need to say, wait, I'm sorry. I did not mean that. No. You don't want to say that about somebody's kids, somebody's family. Certain stuff you don't say. You don't, they struggling looking for a job. You don't be like, that's why you ain't got no job. You can't provide. You don't say no crazy junk like that, especially to no man. So if you got it, sometimes you have to, because some damage is worse than others.
Yeah.
Some damage is like, it's going to be hard to come back from that. Like I can take these body blows. I can take us, sparring, and that's more of what it should be. We all got our headgear on. We're protected. It's kind of a controlled environment. We're sparring. But I can't take you just going in and hit me with a low blow because the idea of a low blow is, especially for men in boxing, is it's a more sensitive area. So you don't hit a man below the belt or a woman in this scenario because it's an unfair advantage. If you hit a man below the belt in a certain region, he's going to be doubled over in pain and more mad and be like, forget this fight, forget the rules of the fight. I'm just done with this.
Yep.
Right? So we have to be really careful about those low blows.
Yeah.
And if somebody does it on accident, like you said, sometimes somebody does it on accident, and you said somebody be waiting, huh?
Yeah, be waiting to pull out that haymaker.
Like, I got one for you.
Go in. Yeah.
I've been watching this for years with your little crazy family. I've been wanting to tell you about this. I knew you was crazy as soon as I met your Aunt Sally. I knew y'all was all crazy, right? You like, dang.
Yeah, and like Judy Pledger Williams says, it's hard to recover from.
Yeah.
Like when you pull out something that you know is going to hurt that person and then you say it, you can't take it back, then that other person, it's going to be hard for that other person to recover from it because you really hurt them.
You did.
And you did it on purpose.
And when people see you have the ability or the willingness to intentionally hurt them, I always said that. I have hurt you before once. I said one wrong thing maybe once. But, I mean, we've all said hurtful things, right? People have. But I am often, like, really sorry. When you tell me that how hurt you were or when I even realize it, I'm hurt that I hurt you. It's like we're one, and it's like, dang, like, I didn't mean to do that.
Right. And it's always, like sometimes, like, you're a jokey kind of person, so sometimes you just say stuff, like you just shooting stuff out there. But it's always easy for me to be like, he didn't mean that, you know? Because I know, because you don't hit me with the low blows,
right. It's not who I am.
You've never hit me with a low blow.
Right.
So when you say, whatever, I don't know, whatever you be saying. I don't even remember none of it. I just know you be joking all the time.
He always joking.
He always got jokes.
Always got something to say. That is true. Right. But you know that about me, and I know that about you, and that's something else. In relationships, you have to get to places of trust where you know the other person is never going to try to hurt you, so that even if they do something hurtful, you can compare it to their resume, to their history, to their record, and you're like, this person has never committed this type of felonious assault ever before in our relationship. I am not going to try them as a longtime criminal with 2 strikes. I have to look at this in comparison to our whole life together and say, wait a minute, this must be a mistake. This is what is called an outlier. Great book by Malcolm Gladwell, by the way, called Outliers. This is an outlier. It is statistically an outlier. It's almost statistically irrelevant. It's almost like certain things happen when they're doing a study that they throw out. They're like, that is so far out of the norm that we can't even bring that into our study, or it would skew the numbers. And that was just one outlier. That was a one-off thing, or once every couple years something goes left, or they're in a very stressful season. Every now and then somebody may get into a very stressful season. They've lost their job, they've lost a loved one, and they may be acting up a little bit out of their own hurt. Yeah. So we got to give grace for that. We got to give people a little room. And if you're not ready to show some grace and mercy, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah. It's relationships, like the Bible says, like, love is patient.
Yeah.
Love is kind. Love keeps no record of wrong.
Yes.
Love always hopes. Love always perseveres. Like, that's love.
That's what we're supposed to be, too.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be. Like, I think we get into, like, we see TV, like all these images we're bombarded with every single day. We start thinking, like, well, if this person isn't making me happy, then then he or she doesn't love me.
Yes.
Whatever. Like, it's not your spouse's job to make you happy.
Yes.
Your job is to make yourself happy. That's between you and God.
Amen.
Your spouse cannot fulfill that role.
That's tough for people to hear now. You said that's
the truth, though.
People think they're going to get
the truth or not.
All right. Some people think I'm getting with somebody because I'm unhappy and I'm lonely. They're going to satisfy my loneliness and unhappiness, and they're going to fulfill me. They're going to complete me. No, wrong. Now, when you find the one and you get connected with that person, you may feel a greater sense of like fulfillment in that I can now accomplish my calling. I'm more purposeful in my life. I know that I'm better able to do the things that I'm called to do because I'm now connected with my person.
And you should feel happy together.
You should.
But you should not be happy and then go into a relationship thinking it's going to make you happy. Like, no, like happiness is an individual thing. Yes. That's between you and God. Nobody should have the role or the job of making you happy. And anytime you need somebody else to always make you happy, you're always going to be dependent on somebody else for your happiness. Yeah. And it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be dependent on somebody else for your happiness. If you can't walk outside and wake up in the morning and be happy without somebody else.
Say that. You're going to be unhappy a lot.
Yeah, something's wrong. Like, you need to reevaluate what's going on within you. Because you shouldn't need somebody else to be happy.
I just realized I was doing this. Like, you was preaching. I was like, ooh, preachers be preaching. They be like.
I be leaning away because you talk with your hands.
I be like.
Please don't slap me on camera.
Right. We talking about fair fighting. Shout out to my man, Troy Richardson. He said, words are like bullets from a gun. Once it's fired, there's no getting it back. The damage has been done. Shout out to Troy. Yes. Congratulations, Troy, on your retirement as well, my man. You're too young and stuff. You're too young and cool. Congrats. I can't believe you reached that milestone already, my man. Congratulations. So happy for you. Good friend, great man of God. And he was our UPS man. Yeah. And we knew our stuff was going to be straight because he was our dude.
Coming.
We knew our stuff was going to be right, but now he's retired. We respect it. Right. It's all good.
And he rung the doorbell and let us know.
He was nice, man. He did things just right. You know what I mean? He ministered to me right after I lost my mom, man. He said, he was sent from God that day, man. I needed it. So shout out to Troy. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. I love what Christina said. This is so important. She said, read that passage and replace love with your name. So where love is patient, love is kind, you need to use these powerful words. I am patient. I am kind. Lucas is patient. Lucas is kind. Yeah. Lucas is long-suffering. Corine needs to say, and I don't need to say it to you. You know Corine's supposed to be long-suffering, right?
Right.
You better suffer long, sister. Right? I gotta be that. I love that. God wants us to, the Bible says God is love. And I used to think, wow, we are loving, God is love. But then I realized God wants us to be in his image. So he doesn't just want us to be loving. He wants us to also be love.
Yes.
That's a whole other level. It was different when I was trying to be loving.
Mm-hmm.
That was easy because I could do that and then not do it and be like, well, I was loving over there and I wasn't over here.
Right.
But if I am love, I can't not be it.
Cannot be it.
So God wants us to take on his nature and character and be love. Christina, preaching. Yes. Angela Curry. She said, preach that your happiness is your own responsibility. Angela, you're a newly married woman. Mm-hmm. If there's anything you could tell people looking to be married, let us know. Throw us a tip out there. It would be great to hear from you. I mean, being newly married, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting time because there's a lot of joy and you're excited to be there. And then there's a little bit of, I thought this was going to be easier or better, right? There's always like that little bit of like, I know we ain't arguing already, right? So I know where we were, but Angela, we'd love to hear if you have any thoughts that might help somebody else out there who's, they got the wedding date scheduled and they think they're going to skip into all flowers and roses, but some days are challenging. I'm sure. It just is what it is. I love that. Thank you, Angela. She said, be open and forgiving. She said forgiving in all caps.
Love it. Forgiving in all caps.
Got to be big forgiving.
Yes, big forgiving.
Because people going to get on your nerves.
Yes.
They're going to do some stuff.
No record of wrong.
Yes. Shamara said that loneliness is a real thing. Even the strongest of us struggle with it. But the deeper your relationship with God, the less you feel it. Learn that through this fast. That is awesome.
That's beautiful.
taking time to fast and draw closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
Loneliness is a human thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing that we feel on earth because we are tribal, we are community minded, and it's important for us to also commune with one another, right? Come together with others and be a part of community so that we feel some level of satisfaction. Loneliness is not only romantic. I think we're always thinking of romantic relationships like that has to be the end all be all when there's a lot of purpose, there's a lot of people to satisfy that and be a part. So I love that, Shamar. Val said, yes, truth, be love, be kind, be meek, give grace. Yes, yes, yes. That's what it is. Stop. Because if you're trying to be something, no, if you're trying to do something rather than be something, you can do it sometimes and not do it others. But if it's who you are, like I am black, I am a black man, I can't change that, right? It's just who I am. Right? I can't take it off or put it on. I can try to use my different voice and be like, hello, yes, no. Lucas is not here right now. How can I help? You know, I can do whatever I want. But
when you show up,
they're like, that black man, I don't think Lucas, he said his name was Luther. I don't know. I thought he was Lucky. I don't know who this guy is. He looks black, though. I don't know if we want to give him a job. But I can't take it off. If I am love, I can't take it off. If I am patient, I can't take it off. If I am kind, I can't. That is what God wants from us. We need to stop excusing things as being God attributes and start realizing that we were created in his image, which means he not his, like, you think he was created with the face of God? Or do you think he created you to have the heart of God, the mind of God? Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. The mind of God.
Yes,
that's what he wants in you.
Yeah.
Yes. So we got to do that. That's what God is looking for. You get there, it changes everything. God so loved the world, he gave his only son. That's love.
Love.
I ain't giving up my kids. I'm sorry. Y'all got to imagine what it's going to take for somebody to give up their kids out here.
All right.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, what else we got? We got some other stuff people need to do when fighting fair. Make sure y'all know.
We talked about using a referee.
Yeah.
Remember who is and who's fighting. Like, remember what you're fighting for. This is you and your spouse. This is you and your relationship, your marriage, your engagement, whatever it is that you're fighting for. Is you and the person that you're trying to build a life with. Right?
Trying to build forever together.
Trying to build forever together. But y'all are going to war with each other. Y'all tearing your own house down. Y'all supposed to be trying to build up your house, put cute little stuff in it, you know.
I love that.
Paint the walls.
Yes, freshen it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice ivory color.
Whew. Is that what it is?
With some gold trim. I don't know. Whatever
Maybe
you want to do.
Just a nice gold
house.
clock. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah, whatever you want to do in
your
your house, right?
Yes.
But then when you start fighting, you start tearing
Turn it
everything
down.
up. Everything that you worked hard to build for. Don't nobody else got to live there. You're tearing up your own house, you know? My house across the street is looking good.
Yes.
Because I'm working on it. I'm not tearing my stuff up. So you have to remember who's fighting, what you're fighting for, what you're tearing down, or what you're building up.
I love it. So good. We are building houses, not building homes. Mistake number one. You could have a raggedy house and a beautiful home. I think of a home as in the relationships inside that structure. It is like the church. It's not the building. It's the people. The home is the family, the children, the wife, the husband. That's the home. And so you have some of us are punching holes in the wall of our home. Some of us are ripping things off the wall in our home. Some of us are not cleaning our home and keeping our hearts pure and clean and our minds pure and clean. We got to be careful about what we feed our hearts and minds and ears as well.
Right.
Because you feed it too much junk, you start looking around for junk.
Yep.
And so we have to be careful about those things. Be careful because I always say it's erosion. We're slowly pulling away from what we say we're building up. And pretty soon you get enough water around the foundation and that foundation will crack and then that whole house will fall down. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful.
Yes.
Ebony said, I learned so much from watching you two in real life. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Ebony.
Ed.
It's a
Love
God
you.
thing. It's a God thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's chosen us.
I
to
just
do
think
this.
it's so hard to have a relationship without God, you know? Like, we were talking about the love is patient. Like, that's God's definition of love.
Yeah.
But then you have the world's definition of love, and that's somebody else got to make you happy. And if they ain't making you happy, then maybe your relationship ain't as good as you think it is.
Check your
Yeah.
DMs starting today.
If your spouse do this, you better not let your spouse get away with that and blah, blah, blah. But why are you going to war inside of your own house? It makes no sense. Makes zero sense.
Yeah, so important. And I shout out to Ashley. So it's so important for all of us to be thinking about that. Like for singles, you got to start. You can't wait. Like before you build a house, the Bible says, wouldn't you count the cost before you build a house, before you build a tower, before you build something? I think too often people are like, I'm ready to get into a relationship, but they're not. You're ready to have somebody to hang out with. You're ready to have sex. You're ready to have fun. You're ready to have somebody to go to dinner with. You ready for somebody to buy some jewelry. You ready for somebody to buy some Jordans. I don't know, right?
To post on your social media.
You waiting for somebody to be posting pictures with, right? But I don't think we're all ready for a relationship. And even us, I mean, early on, we had some work to do.
Yeah, we did.
We had some healing to do.
We sure did.
Thank God we were patient enough while the other one was healing. We was looking at the other one. You was looking at me, I'm looking at you like, Lord.
Yeah.
Lord,
I
help
think
your child.
I think one of the greatest things that we did though was we realized that the change was going to come from our own individual work.
We did.
We
We
weren't
knew that.
putting it on the other. You know, like sometimes we were like, well, you need to do this and you need to do that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we came back and was like, okay, let me self-reflect and think about what I can do to do better.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the hugest things other than God, you know. And
Yeah. But
you
he
know,
led that.
Yeah. People who are in our corner that were advocates and wanted to see us be successful and do well in our marriage.
Yeah.
Like,
we welcome
that was
them
huge.
in.
Yeah, we welcome them in. Yep.
That's another part. We talked earlier about having a referee or people who you trust to speak into your relationship. Also, singles can have people you can trust to speak into your singleness, and you need people to speak life, not death. You got life and death is in the power of the tongue. You have to be careful who you let speak over your life. And speaking over your life is text messages, phone calls. Do you follow Kardashians more? Do you follow the word? Like, what are you? That's life or death. Like, you're following housewives of cities, and ain't none of them women wives, or very few of them, and half of them are unhappily married, right?
Yeah.
And so when you put that in your mind, you create that as your reality. You start to live that out. You start to think that junk is normal. You start thinking throwing drinks in people's face and turning tables over and you start thinking that junk is normal. And then we start living out those TV realities, which are alternate realities. They're not even true reality because I don't go to lunch with people I hate. And it messes us up. So we really have to prepare for what we want. We have to learn from God. Like we got to start instead of praying, Lord, send me something. Say, Lord, make me something. Make me someone worthy of what you have for me, God. Prepare me to have and for someone to have and to hold from this day forward through sickness and health till death do us part. Teach me how to be someone that someone would never want to let go of. Teach me how to be someone that is for a woman, such a helpmate that I can't see myself making it without you.
Right.
I can't see myself being successful without my helpmate, right? And you can't see yourself making it without your soul mate, without your other half, without your other part. Like, that's what we need to be seeking. And then when we get that together and we meet someone, it makes it so much easier because I'm whole, you whole, I got my junk together, you got your junk together.
Right.
I'm a movement by myself. We're a force when we together.
Brother Neo.
Was that Brother Neo and Fabulous? Brother Fabulous and Brother Neo. Shout out to them. I'm sorry, I got songs in my head. All right, we got one more point. What is it?
Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
last point is the goal is a knockout. To knock out whatever conflict that is that's causing you guys to keep going around in circles. Knock that out, so you can move on. And there will be other conflicts that come up. But whatever conflicts come up, the goal is to knock it out so it's not a burden or something that's constantly weighing down your relationship. Because we've seen, like, even in our own marriage, there's a pattern sometimes that you tend to have the same argument over and over.
Yes.
So you have to learn how to knock those arguments out and deal with them and come to conclusions and work with each other.
Work it out. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been great. It's been another fun episode of Lucas Live. Thank you all who were able to stay on. Thank you guys who jumped in. Thank you guys who are watching by replay. We're excited to bring this information to you. It's education, motivation, liberation. We're trying to teach you something. We're trying to motivate you to do something with what you know, because knowing and not doing doesn't do you any good. And we're trying to set you free. Liberation is being set free to be all that God has created you to be, to have the life that God created for you to have, to live your best life now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we want to see for everybody. So glad to be here. Marie, shout out to welcome. What's up, my man? Glad to have you here. Thank you guys. We're happy to share this gift. It's a gift from God for us to be able to teach and share these things. We've learned it through the ups and downs, and most of all, it's been given to us by God.
And some of the stuff
Yeah, and we've been through some stuff. Thank you guys.
live and learn.
Angela, thank you so much. We need to get together soon. Light a fire. Do whatever you got to do. Let's get together, or we'll light a fire. Come on over. Let's go. It's time to get together again. Ebony, Ashley, Shamar, Tyler, Val, everybody who was on here, Christina, Judy. I can't get to everybody. Kathy, thank you guys so much. We're so glad to have you. We thank you guys again who are watching by replay. Make comments, give hearts even when watching the replay. Share this broadcast. Tell somebody about it. And we'll continue to bring you guys this great content. Remember, we know we have more to do. Shout out to my mom, Miss Vivian Rosetta Tindell, who passed away of breast cancer. We're wearing pink to represent breast cancer awareness. Make sure you guys get checked. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Men and women. Stephanie Talbert, I think I seen you in a little relationship. Congratulations. I think I seen an in relationship thing on social media. Shout out to you. I like that. You know, we love. So we're excited when we see people. We're like, oh, okay, they doing their thing. Shout out to you. Maybe I was behind. I don't know, but Stephanie, happy for you. Elisa Sparks Miles, thank you so much for being here. Again, Jasha, everybody who's on Seth House, welcome. Glad to have you. Everybody, we're out of here. We got to get on. We got to do some studying, some learning. We got to do some things today. Spend some time with God ourselves. We're going to do that this morning.
Yes, we are.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys again soon. Everybody, have a great